Welcome back, everybody. It is NFL Week 7. Me and McLovin are exhausted as hell.
What's up, guys? Big win for the New York Yankees. 3, and they came back, stormed back. The pitching has been unbelievable. They need one more victory. Hopefully it's in Verlander, because I can't stand Verlander. So it's a big 3 days for New York Yankee fans.
Huge. It looks like a Dodgers-Yankees World Series. I mean, the Cubs are up 2-1 right now.
3-1.
Oh, it's 3-1 now?
All right.
Yeah. So, yeah. Is that Rizzo? Yeah. I think so. No, it's Baez. Is that his third of the game?
Baez.
Is that his third of the game?
Second.
Second of the game? All right. But anyway, I just came from 2 back-to-back movies. I've been so far behind in my life, where I just saw It finally, and then the sequel to Blade Runner, which was a 3-hour mess. But anyway, let's go right on into the news and notes. Hopefully Luna will let us be here. All right, so 49ers seek to get over their curious case of the drops. The 49ers lead the NFL with 17 drops through the season's first 6 games.
Well, it's drops and penalties is a sign of bad coaching. Shanahan's had a rough deal so far. They're 0-5, now 0-6. They had a valiant comeback against Washington. They lost by 2, but they could have easily won that game. So, they've been coming super close. They went to overtime with Indianapolis. But at the same time, I think the season's pretty much over. San Francisco, they yanked their starting quarterback and went to the backup, I think midway through the game last time. Carlos Hyde is a really good running back. They still have Joe Staley, who's a really good left tackle, maybe the best left tackle in football. But as far as receivers, Pierre Garçon, has been a high-volume target every single week. With that being said, they need to get their first win, and, we'll see, what team will go the longest with no wins. Cleveland, San Francisco, and I think those are the only 2 that are.
Yeah, correct.
So, San Francisco is, look, they got to play 10 more games no matter what. So, we'll see how they react going forward. But anytime Jed York loses, I'm happy.
All right. So running back C.J. Spiller, hoping his 4th time with Chiefs is the charm. C.J. Spiller has been released by the Chiefs 3 times already this year, but there's a chance he could play Thursday.
So C.J. Spiller, he's been a guy that's bounced around from a lot of teams to a lot of teams, but he still has a lot of talent. So that's why you see him always getting a shot whenever he's on waivers. So only time will tell what his usage will look like.
All right, NaVorro Bowman bringing Raiders experience, leadership, and physicality. What do you think of that signing for them?
The Raiders?
Yeah, I signed with the Raiders.
I thought he got traded to the Chiefs.
No, first of all, he didn't get traded at all. No. There was talk that he was going to get traded to the Saints, but he looked at the front office and said, go to hell, I want to be a free agent. So with everything he's done for the franchise, they released him so he could sign with anybody he wanted to.
So he signed with the Raiders?
Signed with the Raiders.
Hey, NaVorro Bowman's a hell of a talent. I was hoping New England would pick him up because any added talent on that defense is going to help. Bowman's problem has been primarily his injuries, ACLs. He's always been, since he was playing with Patrick Willis, they had the best 2 inside linebackers in the entire game. Then Willis retires. Bowman breaks everything in his leg in a playoff game against Seattle. I think he's going to add good value to the Raiders in their defense. The Raiders are in a tailspin right now, not only with their offense but their defense. So he'll be a valuable added addition to the Las Vegas Raiders.
All right, Carson Wentz to Zach Ertz connection among the best in the NFL. They lead the league right now, 34 completions from a quarterback to a tight end.
Yeah, if anyone watched the game last night or last Thursday night, Zach Ertz had, 2 of the biggest plays in the game for 2 touchdowns. I think one was like a 34-yard reception. You know, anytime you can have your tight end as your best option, tight ends have always been a great safety net. Ask Drew Bledsoe how much Ben Coates meant to him. Him and Coates would hook up for 80 to 90 receptions a year. You know, when you look at the tight ends in the league, you know, you have your Gronkowskis, you have your Olsen who's hurt, you know, Jimmy Graham, the kid from Ingram from rookie with the Giants is a stud. Reed down in Washington. So as far as tight ends being in the league, this is probably the most tight ends that I've ever seen be very good on their team at one point in time in the NFL. Ertz is a great player. He's a veteran in the league. So now the patience that Philly has waited with him as far as getting him to start being a good player has paid off. So I don't see them being stopped anytime soon.
All right, slow start on offense, troubling trend for the Chargers. They've been outscored 50-7 in the opening quarter through 6 games.
You know, it's like the same stat with Carolina, who's given up the most fourth quarter points. San Diego had a rough start, but you know, like I always say, they're in every single game, and you know, they squeaked out a tight one on the road against the Raiders. They have so much talent, you know. Keenan Allen and Phillip Rivers and Melvin Gordon. They got a lot of talent on that team, and you know, anytime you give them a shot, you know, to hang around, and if they could just get rid of their first quarter woes, then I think they could probably win more games.
All right, so Roethlisberger praises retired Heath Miller. He said he was the best teammate he's ever had and one of the best people he's ever known in his life.
Wow, that's a unbelievable compliment. I remember when Heath Miller came out of the University of Virginia, I think back in 2007 or 2006. Great receiver, great tight end in college, and he was a superb tight end at the NFL level. You know, he's really spent the most years on that offensive side of the ball with Roethlisberger, and I think they meshed well. I know they watched a lot of film together. They, you know, spent a lot of time with each other outside of the facility. So, you know, Heath Miller has been a pro's pro for many years. He, you know, laces him up, and you know, unfortunately, all NFL careers have to come to an end at some point in time. But you know, he's been a solid tight end in the NFL, and that, you know, he's done everything that the team has asked him to do. So. Good career for Heath Miller.
Cleveland's going back to DeShone Kizer.
Well, I think I said this last week that eventually they're going to have to go back to Kizer because there's not a better option. You know, they got their asses kicked at Houston. So look, you have to go with the guys that you draft because you got to use these games. You know, these next 10, 11 games. To use it as a a building point and try to see how they can improve. So starting next year, you know, he could probably get out all the rookie quirks and hopefully be better, you know, for his team and his franchise. But Cleveland is a place where your career is going to end. It's a nightmare for rookies. They have a baseball guy running the entire operation, and you know, we'll see if they can even win a game this year. Hugh Jackson's a great coach, but you know, when you don't have the horses, it's very difficult to win in the NFL. It's very difficult to win anyway, you know, with good players. So I think it's going to be another long year for Cleveland.
Cardinals, Peterson got NFC Weekly honor for the Offensive Player of the Week. Since 2012, he rushed for 134 yards.
Well, I mean, we talked about this trade last week, and it was a great trade for Arizona. This guy is a pro when it comes to running the ball on Sundays. He's also a pro at whipping his kid, you know, pretty hard. The kid must, you know, still be feeling those whips that he gave him 2 or 3 years ago. But Adrian Peterson. Anytime you add a guy like that, you know, for value, they traded him for barely nothing at all. And this is a guy that could his run for 2,000 yards and you know, he's going to just be an added element to that Arizona offense. Larry Fitzgerald is, you know, playing like an MVP. You know, John Brown's coming around at the wide receiver position. Their defense has been playing a lot better. The offensive line is playing a lot better. So, you know, Arizona, if they continue to, you know, do what they're doing, they're going to win more games than they're going to lose.
All right, Doug Marrone cut the kicker, Jason Myers, but he said it wasn't a message to the rest of the special teams after the horrific special teams day the Jaguars had. It was basically, he cut him because of lack of consistency.
Well, if there's any position, you know, other than the quarterback position where you need consistency, it's the kicker, the field goal kicker. Now, you know, when I was in San Francisco, our field goal kicker forever was Joe Nedney, who was a pros pro. Prior to that, he was with Tennessee. You know, he's a big left-handed guy, left-handed foot, and he was actually a leader on the team, and he was a kicker. Very rarely do you see something like that. The kickers are, you know, they stay to themselves. They only hang out around the long snapper, and the long snapper is usually a non-event guy anyway. It's tough being a kicker in the NFL, but at the same time, you know, if you do your job on a consistent basis, you will be rewarded. You know, the Patriots are, you know, so fortunate to have a guy like Stephen Gostkowski. Even though, you know, the last 2 years he hasn't kicked like he did his previous 4 or 5 years, but you know, he missed an easy chip shot against the Jets, which at the time was a terrible miss. But to have that reliability on your kicker, to know that if we get to the 40-yard line, we know that we have a guy back there that's going to be able to kick a 57-yarder. And a lot of teams don't have that. A lot of teams don't even have, you know, the ability to kick a 40-yarder or a 35-yarder consistently. And consistently, you know, you're going to end up on the street. You're going to be out of a job if you miss your field goal, if you don't do your job. So it's just like anything else. But the kickers do one thing, or kickoffs. Yeah, but kickoffs don't really do much. But they're expected to kick a field goal whenever they're called on. And you know, if you don't know the kicker on the team, it's a good thing. It means that he's doing his job. But if you know who he is, then it means that he's doing a shitty job. So Jacksonville, you know, who's actually had a really, really good year this far, all things considering, they can't afford to have special teams mishaps. And you know, it's a three-way game: offense, defense, and special teams. No one really talks about special teams, but it is a big time aspect to the winning and losing football games.
All right, so Chris Long, he donated his first 6 paychecks of the year to education and privilege. Now he's donating the rest of his salary for the rest of the year for the same cause.
Look, you know, I think I said this 3 weeks ago. This should be the top story across the NFL. You know, this should be the top story when Andrew Arvidon asks me questions. It's always the negative first, always the bad thing. Who's getting arrested? Who's suspended? Players taking a knee or standing. All the reasons that you know, people watch the game. But a guy like Chris Long, you know, who's a pro, Howie Long's his father, so he's been, you know, tailored to be the right way to play football. But anytime you give your year's salary to children and helping out schools, and that's really hats off to him. I think it's a great thing, but you don't really hear a lot of people talking about it because the media doesn't like to talk about positive things.
Speaking of anthems and everything else, Roger Goodell says, look, we appreciate everyone's message, but he still wants the players to stand.
Well, I think as a commissioner, you can't just sit back. You have to take a stance either way. And I think he made the right choice. And I know his wife was tweeted out, you know, I think he's right. I think that, you know, as an NFL player, you're a role model whether you like it or not. So, you know, if you're going to be like Eric Reed and Colin Kaepernick and take knees just to, you know, be against racial inequality, it's a bunch of garbage. These guys they have a job to do, and if the commissioner comes down and says you must stand for the national anthem, the other three sports don't have this problem because all the commissioners in the other three sports have said you must stand, and it's not a problem. Now with the NFL, just because they want to, be selfish and have all the attention on them, they should just, be thankful for what they have, be thankful for our armed forces, which gives them the right to have a job, and if they want to go out and protest, do it on their players' day off on a Tuesday afternoon. But they know no one's going to talk about that, so they don't do it. So they're only doing it because of attention. They want to be on the black hero and Black Lives Matter and all this other garbage. But just play football. That's all the game's all about. So I think what Goodell's done.
All right, Navarro Bowman expected to join Oakland for the Thursday night game against Kansas City, and Julian Edelman shares public message of support to Gordon Hayward. He's out with a torn ACL, and Hayward obviously I saw the play happen. You were shocked, even I didn't know how to react.
Was it like 5 minutes in?
It was 5.5 minutes in or 6.5 minutes in, and he went up for a rebound. And Kevin Harlan was like, he's on the ground. He broke his leg. And then the camera zoomed in on the leg, and it was one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen in my life.
Just to show his mother what really happened, he probably replayed it over and over. I wish, you see these hits on NFL, or I don't know if you remember the guy from Louisville in the Final 8 who, straight broke his leg, and you could see it come out of his knee, and they showed it about 1 million times. And, or these guys who get flattened, and they end up being concussed, but it's the hit of the week. And ESPN actually used to do the jacked up, and they were, talking about how these guys were getting hit so hard they get jacked up, and they ended up having to cut that segment because it was promoting, guys getting their bells rung. So it's too bad for the Celtics. I mean, you couldn't ask for a worse start, going 0-2 now, and having, the big key, the big piece of the team this year was Gordon Hayward. He was the guy that went out and did a lot of, marketing and a lot of politicking to get him to come to Boston. He comes in the first game, he wrecks his knee within 5 minutes. So that's just terrible, terrible luck.
Gronkowski said his heart dropped when he saw the Celtics forward Gordon Hayward leave Tuesday night's game with a serious leg injury.
Well, he's been there. So, sure. I mean, Edelman's a guy that's now has been there. So, guys, especially, and a lot of guys in the NBA, Paul George, and a lot of these guys are sending out their best to Gordon Hayward because Gordon Hayward's a good guy. He's a good basketball player. He plays the game right. No shenanigans. He doesn't, do any cheap shots. And, if a guy like Kobe Bryant went and wrecked his leg like this, he wouldn't be getting as many phone calls. Or even Kevin Garnett, if he ever did that. Everyone hated Kevin Garnett. So I think Julian Edelman, is a class guy. Rob Gronkowski is a class guy, and they will come out and say this because they know Gordon Hayward's a class guy. So, all we can do as Celtics fans is hope that he gets better soon, and have to play the whole season.
New Jaguars kicker. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. New Jaguars kicker Josh Lambo knew he would get second chance in the NFL. He was cut by the Chargers in the summer, but now he's eager to show he belongs in the NFL. Sometimes
getting kickers on the rebound is, they now know how quickly they can lose their jobs, especially these young guys. If you look at a guy like Adam Vinatieri, he was cut by Parcells when he was a rookie, and then he obviously came back, and and the rest is history. Adam Vinatieri is probably arguably the best kicker in the entire history of the NFL. So these guys getting second chances or even third chances really have to make it happen because that's the only position they can play.
Ball from the Tampa Bay Bucks historic touchdown connection going to the Harvard coach. Ryan Fitzpatrick went to Harvard.
Yep.
His touchdown pass to Cameron Brate, who also went to Harvard.
Yep.
And the Bucks loss to the Cardinals was a milestone for Harvard, the school's first NFL touchdown connection.
Yeah, Ryan Fitzpatrick's been in the league forever. Him and Alex Smith. I think Alex got a 38 out of 40 on his Wonderlic test, and Fitzpatrick got a 40 out of 40. Remember that when they took their test back in 2005 when they were rookie quarterbacks. Good for Harvard. I mean, I've seen a lot of that football, the 1AA football. It's really good football.
Football!
You got Yale and Columbia and, all these schools that play hard-nosed football. Obviously they're not great athletes, or they would be at, Penn State or LSU or Tennessee. So, but they play the game the right way, and it's fun football to watch, and it's good. It's great that they're being, Ivy League football's on the map in the NFL.
So Le'Veon Bell's quote, he says, quote, I guess I can't use the goalpost to celebrate. He wasn't fully aware players couldn't use the goalpost during celebrations. He'll change things up in the future.
I didn't see how he celebrated or not. Le'Veon Bell is, a guy that's, been suspended a couple times now. But, look, as long as he's not getting flagged for it every time, this is a guy that scores a lot of touchdowns and had a lot to do with Pittsburgh's upset victory on the road at Arrowhead at Kansas City. So I don't really have much of a comment on, what he did. I didn't see it.
Yeah, Ravens expected to sign Griff Whalen to help banged up receivers.
Griff Whalen.
Yeah.
You know what why was he?
The fucking punt with the Colts. Yeah.
No, they didn't actually punt.
Oh, yeah, the fake punt. Yeah.
He's the guy that fucking snapped the
ball.
Snapped
the ball when he wasn't supposed to do it.
Yeah, well, not only wasn't supposed to do it, there were 3 defenders surrounding the snapper, and he decided to snap the ball, and he got absolutely clobbered. Well, half the team's on the right side of the field. So so Griff Whalen, God bless.
Yeah. Speaking of God bless, DeMarco Murray misses practice with a hamstring strain.
Yeah, DeMarco Murray has been hurt the entire year. I have him on one of my fantasy teams, and he's just been god awful. This is a guy who had the world by the balls. He, had just, leading rusher in the NFL. He wanted out of Dallas. He didn't want to re-sign there, so they traded him to Philly. And then Philly got rid of him, and now he's with Tennessee on a bad Tennessee team. And he's been hurt the whole year. So, you gotta be careful what you wish for.
Yeah. Be careful what you wish for, see? Sort of like your latitude the other day. All right, now.
Well,
that's what John told me to tell you.
Well, guess what?
All right, so
we should have him take a latitude.
Sure, I'm just telling you.
Yeah, well, you're only saying it just to fucking irk me and get me fucking riled up.
No, not really.
But I actually go up there and I fucking give him my best, motherfucker.
Yep. So Seahawks coach Pete Carroll said in a radio interview on Wednesday that Pro Bowl defensive end Cliff Averill, who suffered a neck spine injury in Week 4, is heading injury reserve and may miss the rest of the season.
Cliff Averill, great player, great pass rusher. It's sad to see.
Phillip Rivers says Los Angeles' offense needs to start each game quickly and play with a certain mindset.
He's right.
Todd Bowles gets testy trying to defend Jets sack-less stars. Wow, getting testy now after the guy looks like he's comatose on the sideline. New York coach refuses to point the finger at Muhammad Wilkerson and Leonard Williams, saying the whole team must play better.
Well, I mean, just the fact they're 3-3, no one thought they were going to win a game. The over/under for their season was 3 wins. So anyone who took the Jets on the over of 3 wins is looking pretty good. You think they'll get at least one more win. They, arguably should have beat New England the other day, and they just can't play a 4-quarter game, and they're losing to the teams that they should lose. They're actually beating the teams that they should beat. So I think this is it for your boy in New York Jets. I think he's going to get fired.
Who? Bowles?
Yeah.
Communication flow and a few takeaways could help Brett Hundley. Hundley won't be able to replace Aaron Rodgers by himself. It will take the entire Packers offense, helping them backup quarterback.
Well, anytime you're a backup for a reason. This guy Hundley couldn't even hold Rodgers' jockstrap. I don't even think Aaron Rodgers knew who Brett Hundley was. His backup.
Sure.
But this guy is terrible. He is just a bad quarterback. He can't really do much, but that's their only option now, and you can pretty much kiss Green Bay season away. They cannot win anything without Aaron Rodgers, so the teams like Chicago and Detroit and Minnesota especially is probably playing the best football. I mean, you could see Minnesota, with Case Keenum and crew, win that division, or maybe even Chicago. Chicago could come back, but whoever comes out of that NFL North division is going to be dog shit. So for all the other teams in the NFC, whether they want to admit it or not, they're happy that Aaron Rodgers is injured, because when you're injured and you play in a team like Green Bay, no one's going to feel bad for you.
So, Redskins Allen is out for the season, and Belichick called Gronkowski Twinkle Toes because he scored a touchdown.
Belichick, good for him. He's having fun. I'm sure it was an inside joke, but Belichick usually doesn't, jostle back and forth with his comments too many times with current players on his squad. But I'm sure that there was probably some inner funniness, silliness business going on.
Colts. Oh no. I thought it said Colts did, but they're saying they should shut him down. All right. Panthers, Benjamin sidelined with knee issue. Quarterback Hundley on the Packers says, I will lead this team.
Bullshit.
And Luck suffers another setback. He's shut down from throwing. And Redskins running back says, Philly fans are some of the meanest. So.
Well, Philly fans, okay, the Philly fans themselves are... The only thing you can like about the Philly fans is their dedication to their team. Across the board, Philly fans are, assholes, not even a word. They're like if they were all females, you could drop the C-bomb on them, and that's really what they are.
We are who we thought they were.
Yeah.
We are who we are. All right, so here's the deal. Let's go right on into last week. So, for those of you who put in your picks left and right, appreciate that. There is some continuity there. But for those of you who just started last week, I appreciate you doing that. But for those of you who are in and out, I'm not going to even... I mean, look, we said last video, if you don't put your picks in, you're not going to be disqualified, but you're going to be disqualified for the following week for winning a gift card if you end up beating McLovin. So, right now, last week... Against the spread, I went 6-8. McLovin went 7-7. So against the spread, I am. Let's see here. I put it here. 42-49, a game ahead of McLovin, who's 41-50. Now for the picks last week, I went 7-7. McLovin went 7-7. EDP went 4-10. So for the standings for us, McLovin's in first at 53-38. I'm in second at 51-40, 2 games behind there. And then EDP in the 3 weeks he's been with us is 22-38. Oof. Now, for those of you last week in Division Number 1, Steve Goldman, 5-9. Yes, 6-8. Steve Goldman, you missed a game, by the way, buddy. You went 5-8, but I gave you a loss. You had 13 games up there. So 5-9 for you. Yes went 6-8. Vadix went 6-8. CV went 8-6. You win a gift card. Lev 6-8. Cali Guy 6-8. And Dan McLean another gift card 8-6. So we have Dan McLean in first. He's winning the whole thing right now at 57-36. He has a 2-game. I don't know how that's fucking possible. If you're 53-38, something's not right. Doesn't make any fucking sense. I'm gonna have to do the math on that because you can't have 4 more wins and 2 less losses. This shit doesn't make any sense, does it?
I think you got
53-38, 57-36. Is that? Oh, maybe that is right.
Well, what 57 and what?
36.
Okay, and then what am I?
You're 53-38.
No.
So you'd have to be 55-38.
There's 2 games missing.
Correct. So I'm gonna have to. I'll have to re-add it. I'll re-add it.
Yeah,
Either he's 55-36. He's probably 55-36.
So what's the total?
Let's go back to hold on. Let's go back to Dan McLean for last week. Where was he? Where the fuck is he? Hold on. Dan went, what was his record, I mean? Here he is. 49-28 he was. So if he went 8-6, it's 57. No, 57-34. It's even better, yeah. 28-6 is 34. I fucked his losses up. I gave him 2 more losses than he really has. So he's in first at 57-34, which means he's 4 games ahead of you.
What am I?
53-38. You're fine.
Okay.
I fucked up his record. 57-34.
Okay.
So he's in first place, 4-game lead over McLovin. But in his own division, second place we got CV Gunn at 52-37. Third place we have Vaddix at 51-40. Fourth place we have Lovemaker at 50-41. Fifth place we have. Good question. The fuck's going on?
Well,
I don't know a fifth. Steve Goldman, I guess, 49-42. Sixth is Yes at 48-43. Seventh is Cali Guy at 45-46. And last place, Thomas Everett Patrick Brady Jr. His second 0-16 of the year. He didn't put his picks in, so he's now 42-51.
Yeah, he's done.
So let me go quickly run through the standings again. We got Dan McLean, 57-34. CV Gunn, 52-37. Vaddix, 51-40. Lev Maker, 50-41. Steve Goldman, 49-42. Yes, 48-43. Cali Guy, 45-46. And Thomas Edward, 42-51. Now, in the second division, Jennifer, you're 23-21. You went 6-8. Dan C went 6-8. Blake Rios went 5-9. Or wait a minute now. Blake Rios, 5-9 for him. And then Thomas Mack didn't participate. He's done. So you got, and then Dennis Ramirez is 20-24. Blake Rios is 22-22. So Jennifer's winning that division, a game lead over Blake Rios, and then Dennis Ramirez is 20-24, 3 games out. Now, other people who won gift cards who beat McLovin, Blake Rios, you did. You went 9-5. Or no, you didn't. What did I just say you did? You fucking went 5-9. You didn't win a gift card. That was from week 5. People won gift cards. CV Gunn, Dan McLean, Jakura Stafford connection. You went 9-5. You get a gift card for week 6. And then Anthony Abad went 11-3. He had the best record the whole week. Anthony Abad. So, recap, Anthony Abad, Jakura Stafford connection, CV Gunn, Dan McLean, you all win gift cards. You beat McLovin this week.
So Dan McLean, congratulations. You are the half, close to the, we have 2 more weeks till half the season, but you're beating me, and no one's ever beaten me. So, I would usually win pretty handily, and I plan to, overtake you. So, but you're doing well now.
All right, so here's the deal. Let's go right on into the scores for week 7. So Thursday night's game, we have Kansas City 5-1. They're undefeated away 3-0. Raiders going into Oakland to face the Raiders, who are 2-4. They're 1-2 at home. Kansas City on the road, favored by 3.
Kansas City -3.
Okay, so we have Kansas City -3. I agree. All right, next we have Sunday at 1 o'clock. Tampa Bay 2-3, 0-2 on the road, going into Buffalo to face the Bills. 3-2, 2-0 at home. No line.
Someone hurt. Let me check to see if usually just give me a sec here. Because sometimes ESPN is asleep at the wheel when it comes to the deals. So Jacksonville, Cincinnati, Baltimore, Jets. It's off the board right now. Someone hurt. What are we thinking? Is someone hurt?
Well, Jameis Winston may not play, so it could be Fitzpatrick. Going back to Buffalo.
So
about going back to Buffalo. What the fuck's wrong with me? You played for the Jets for the last few years. I'm taking Buffalo, whatever they are. I'm just going to.
So you're going to go with Buffalo, whatever the point spread is.
Whatever the point spread is, yeah.
I'll do the same.
All right.
So even across the board.
All right, now we have Carolina 4-2, 3-0 on the road, going into Chicago to take on the Bears, who are 2-4 and 1-2 at home. Carolina on the road, favored by 3.
Oh boy, The Bears have just been. You can't really predict the Bears. I'm gonna take Carolina -3.
So next we have Tennessee 3-3, 1-2 on the road, going into Cleveland to face the Browns. 0-6, 0-3 at home. Tennessee on the road, favored by 6.
I have 5.5 here.
6 on NFL thing.
Okay. Well, Tennessee -6.
Yeah. That's who you're picking?
Yeah.
All right, same here. New Orleans 3-2, 2-1 away. This is they're going into Green Bay 4-2, 3-0 at home with Todd Hundley. Fucking baseball player. Nick Hundley. Todd Hundley was a catcher for the Mets, I think. So the Packers are. So the Saints on the road are favored by 5.5.
This game started out right when the games were over on Sunday. This game started out New Orleans -10. It has moved significantly down because so many people were taking the Packers. I'm going to take the Packers +5.5.
All right, I'm taking New Orleans. It's the first we disagree on. Jacksonville 3-3, 2-1 on the road. Going into Indianapolis to face the Colts 2-4, 2-1 at home. Jacksonville on the road favored by 3.5.
I have 3 here, but so if it's 3.5,
3.5, yeah, we'll just do it on this.
Jacksonville -3.5.
I'm taking Indy plus the points. You're taking Jacksonville there. Okay. Cardinals 3-3 in London facing the Rams who are 4-2. Rams -3.5. What do you got?
Wait.
The Rams are favored by 3.5 in London.
It's gonna be a tough one. Give me the Cardinals +3.5.
Okay, same here. I think Arizona will beat the Rams. All right, New York Jets 3-3, 1-2 away, going into Miami 3-2, 1-1 at home. Miami favored by 3 at home.
Miami -3.
Okay, I'm taking the Jets. Ravens 3-3, 2-1 on the road, going into Minnesota to face the Vikings 4-2, 3-1 at home. Minnesota favored by 5.5.
You know the Ravens, they're just like I can't get a grasp of them. You know the 1 week.
Ravens have cost me $6,000 over the last 3 weeks.
But the Ravens, yeah, but they go and get their asses handed to them by Jacksonville, and then they whoop up on who they beat. They beat Oakland at Oakland. I got to take Minnesota -5.5.
You taking who? Minnesota? Yeah,
Minus
same here.
5.5.
Same here. All right, 4:05 game. We have Dallas 2-3, 1-1 on the road, going into San Francisco to take on the 49ers. 0-6, 0-2 at home. Dallas on the road favored by 6.
Dallas -6.
Correct. All right. Next up, we have Seattle 4:25 game. Seattle 3-2, 1-2 on the road, going into New York to face the Giants. 1-5, 0-2 at home. Seattle on the road favored by 5.5.
These are tough, man. The Giants coming off a shocker. Seattle -5.5.
All right, good. Same here. Cincinnati 2-3, 1-1 on the road, going into Pittsburgh to face the Steelers. 4-2, 1-1 at home. Pittsburgh favored by 5.5.
This is Pittsburgh. I only know what Pittsburgh's record against the spread is at home. It's never good, but I'm taking Pittsburgh -5.5.
Correct. Same here. Denver 3-2, 0-1 on the road, going into Los Angeles to face the Chargers. 2-4, 0-3 at home. No line.
It's LA -1.
All right, well, I'm taking Denver.
I'm taking the Chargers
+1?
-1.
Oh, Chargers -1?
Denver's +1.
So you think so basically you think the Chargers are going to win?
Correct.
Oh, wow. All right. So you're taking the LA Chargers,
yeah.
Okay? All right, 8:30 Sunday night game, must-watch game. Atlanta 3-2, 2-0 on the road, going into New England to face the Pats 4-2. They are 1-2 at home this year. New England's favored by 3.5.
New England -3.5.
I'm taking Atlanta to win this. So Atlanta +3.5, and you have New England -3.5, just like you said. Detroit was a loss.
I'll pick up 2 games on there.
Yeah. Monday night's game. Washington 3-2, 1-1 on the road, facing the Eagles 5-1, 2-0 at home. Philly favored by 5 at home.
Washington +5.
Okay. I'll take that too. All right, now it's everyone's favorite time of the year. time for holiday cheer as we have EDP 445 coming at us with another video, but in this case coming at us with his picks of the week. Your dad's favorite part of the show is what I was told.
Absolutely.
What up, man?
What's up, man? How you doing, dude?
Fuck, man. Here to
Fucking, so last week, me and McLovin both went 7-7 with the picks. You ended up going 4-10. So in 3 weeks, your record is 22-38. But there's always this week, so let's start off.
Well, let's go over the ED. What about that team that plays in Philadelphia? What a win on Thursday Night Football, huh?
Yeah, man. Real shit, bro. It's like, you know what, man? The referees, man, they tried to fuck us.
I know. I told you they were going to win outright. I had them, but you gotta give credit. I mean, Carson Wentz is come a long way, in a year to where he was last year.
Yeah, definitely, man. Like third down conversion rate is fucking decent shit, man. But I feel like the main reason we're playing really great. You shout out to the fucking defense.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, they were all over every time that, whether it was Stewart or McCaffrey, any handoff they had two guys in the backfield waiting for them. So the defense has really been the difference.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so Thursday night EDP, it's a decent game. Derek Carr is back. Kansas City goes into Oakland to face the Raiders. Who do you got?
Kansas City.
Okay, Kansas City all the way down. Next up, Sunday, 1 o'clock game. Tampa Bay goes into Buffalo.
Buffalo.
All the way down. Next up, we have Carolina going into Chicago.
Carolina.
All the way down. Next up, we have Tennessee going into Cleveland.
You gotta be fucking kidding. I got Tennessee, man.
Tennessee.
Okay, New Orleans going into Green Bay without Brett Favre, without Aaron Rodgers.
I'm gonna take New Orleans, bro.
I'll take Green Bay.
All right, me and EDP agree. New Orleans will beat Green Bay, and Green Bay with Nick Hundley. All right, Jacksonville going into Indianapolis. That's one hell of a fucking football game right there.
I'll take Jacksonville.
Taking Indy. We'll see what happens. I have a feeling Jacoby Brissett will win a close one, 20-17. All right, Arizona and the Rams are in London. Who do you got?
Oh, I'm going to take the Rams, bro.
Arizona.
Taking Arizona also. EDP is the Rams. All right, then we got the Jets and Dolphins in Miami.
Oh, boy.
Oh, fuck, man. I'm going to take the Jets because they got fucked over by New England last week, and they needed my fuck.
I'm taking the Dolphins.
I am also going to take the Jets, EDP. I have them on the spread.
The Dolphins are a team on the rise.
Oh, sure they are. They're they don't even know where they are for 3 quarters, and then they magically fucking, Jay Cutler, stops thinking about his wife, and then he fucking goes and plays football. All right, so you got Baltimore and Minnesota. Who do you got?
Baltimore and Minnesota. Damn. That's tough, man. I'll let you guys pick first.
Taking Minnesota.
Minnesota.
All right, Dallas and San Francisco. This should be an easy one.
I'm going to take San Francisco.
Oh, God bless you. God bless. Someone needs to take them.
Okay.
I'm taking Dallas.
Seattle and the Giants fucking raped Denver. No one saw this coming except Anthony Abad, who went 11-3 last week. One of your subscribers, I think, EDP. This guy had the Giants beating Denver. I don't think anyone and their mother had the Giants beating Denver. Did you have the Giants beating Denver? No, we all had Denver last week. I thought Denver was going to rape them. I thought it was going to be a defensive game where Denver was going to beat them just by defensive scoring. But
and Andy also thought, just for the record, that Carolina was going to rape.
I thought so.
Okay.
Just like you thought Detroit was going to win outright against
you already
Orleans.
said that. So
yeah, I'm just telling you.
You know.
But he didn't know. He doesn't hear it.
I know.
Okay. He's going to hear it on the playback.
Yeah. Okay. Fine.
All right. So All right, so what the hell we were talking about? Seattle and the Giants. Who do you got?
I'm going to take Seattle.
Seattle.
Yeah. All right. Cincinnati going into Pittsburgh. Who do you got?
Oh, fuck that, man. I'm taking Pittsburgh, dude.
Pittsburgh.
Yep. Then we got Denver and the Chargers going into LA.
Chargers. I'm taking Chargers.
Yeah, I'm taking the Superchargers.
Really? I'm taking the Broncos. And then Sunday night game, Atlanta going into New England. EDP. Who do you have? I already know who you. I already know you got.
Fuck out of here, man. Oh my god, dude.
The Patriots.
Nobody. It ends up in a tie.
All right, he's predicting a tie. Who do you got? Oh yeah, I know who you have. I'm taking Atlanta. I'm a Pats.
Taking New England fan.
Yeah. I'm a Pats fan, but I don't see the Pats winning.
That's when he took the Saints to beat them, and then they ended up getting.
Yeah, it's true. I was wrong there.
Pats are not going to lose that game ever.
You don't think so?
Ever.
You want to bet?
Yes.
All right. So what you're saying? There's no way the Pats lose to Atlanta
There's
at home.
no way the Pats.
Never gonna happen.
Never going to happen.
Really?
Never.
Even with the Pats defense the way it is.
Never going to happen.
32nd ranked defense.
Never going to happen.
You hear that, EDP? He says there's no way the Pats lose.
Oh, fuck, man.
All right. Well, let's see. And then Monday night's game, Washington and your Eagles.
I'm going to take the Redskins.
Yeah.
You know what, though, man?
Every time. I'm the only one that ends up taking your team, and they keep on winning. So I'm taking Philly to win the game.
Dude, every time I pick the fucking opposing team, man, Philly always wins. So fuck it.
That's a good strategy. So,
It's reverse psychology, says EDP.
Hell yeah.
All right. So, hey, man, thanks for coming on the show again this week. Sorry it's later than usual. I just saw the movie It, and I saw the sequel of Blade Runner, and I wasted 5 hours of my life. So, 6 hours of my life, yeah. Huh?
You didn't like it?
It was okay. I never saw the first one, so I'm gonna have to watch the first one. It was okay, but the Blade Runner, the first movie in the 80s, that was okay. This one was almost 3 hours long, and it was fucking just boring as fuck. And I sat through it, and there was like 4 people in the theater. It was that bad.
Holy fuck, man.
That's what happens. That's what happens, man. All right, man. Appreciate you coming on the show as always. We will see you next week.
go Eagles.
Good shit, man. Thank you for having me.
See ya.
All right, folks, that was week 7. Action-packed week. Green Bay fucked me. Aaron Rodgers fucked me. And the Ravens fucked me. I had a 7 or 18 parlay going, and I got every single one of them except the Ravens, who lost to the Bears at home.
Wait, didn't you have the Packers?
Yeah, I haven't gotten you interrupted me, but yeah.
Okay, you said the only one I didn't have. So that means one.
No.
You said the only one.
I said the only one?
Yeah.
Then I misspoke. We're going to have to watch back the tape. But yeah, then I misspoke. So what I was going to say, however, was... Oh, no, yes. So what I was going to say, had I not been interrupted, was the only one that screwed me, aside from Aaron Rodgers getting knocked out of the fucking game, was the fucking Ravens losing to the Bears at home. Because if Aaron Rodgers doesn't get knocked out of that game, I think they were fucking -3. Worst case, a push, and beat them by 3 at home. Or no, they were in Minnesota, right? They still would have won. There was fucking 7-7 when he got knocked out, wasn't he? Wasn't it?
Yeah, it was early.
Yeah, it was 7-7 when he got knocked out. So fucking the Ravens can't do shit. Fuck the Ravens and the Steelers always fuck me. Always fuck me against the spread. Doesn't matter what it is. The Steelers could be facing the Browns. They'd be favored by 5 and they'll win by 1. And then the Steelers will be fucking plus 2 and they'll win by 27. And it's the most ridiculous thing ever. But anyway, week 7, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you.
See ya.